blame me for the bad audio on this episode. Enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully you can hear enough. Thanks sponsors, especially Huggins Scott, but also Heritage Auctions, Opportunity the Upper Deck, Burbank Sports Cars, Mike Stadium Sports Cars, and ComC, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. Again, apologize for the audio, but hopefully you get some good content and find out about auction logistics from some real pros. Your niche in the auction industry is, and I frankly think everybody in this business ought to have a niche. Distributors, graders, price guides, everybody ought to have some distinctive identity, and you certainly do in the auction. And some of the lots that I've won, I probably have maybe one or two regrets, but just you buy something and it's so exciting. And most of the ones have just far exceeded my expectations. But a couple of times I just had wishful thinking that I thought, boy, this is really going to be great. And it wasn't terrible. You're really fair in your descriptions. But when you get a whole bunch of cards at one of these treasure chest lots or something like that, shoebox, actually it's more than a shoebox, some of the ones I've been on.
You're talking about pallet.
One pallet, or 2/3 of a pallet, is about what I can fit in my car when I go down to the freight depot. And they know me down there now. They know I'm the baseball card guy. But I can't do that very often. But as I said, my wife was so excited when I won that lot back pre-COVID, and it was a lot of fun going through it. And it sheltering in place meant I had plenty of cards to look at when I couldn't go anywhere. And as my wife says, it's about as wholesome a hobby as you can get. But what I wanted to have a discussion about is with you and your associates there. There's just a lot of work that goes into putting out a catalog. And then most people think that's a lot of work. But then after and then the bidding and keeping that all organized. But then after the smoke clears, you've got to send out all the 2,000 lots. And then in the meantime, you're getting more lots in for the next auction. And Kris, so I know Kris is the one I've dealt with. And I know some people, I guess, it's got to be fun working on your team when you get to see all this amazing stuff.
Well, I'm here. Kris, let Kris talk. Kris can answer some questions for you.
Nice speaking with you, Jim.
Great, Kris. Your email tag kind of says you do real estate too, right?
I do real estate. I'm a jack of all trades.
Okay.
I really enjoy working for Huggins Scott.
Are you a collector as well, or are you just...
I see a lot of different items that come to the auction because I also do the lotting, the inventory as well as afterwards. So I see everything. I essentially have my hands on everything twice as I'm putting it into inventory so we can find something when we need to find it. And then also when it needs to ship out. Inventory is very crucial, especially when we have 1,500, 2,000 plus lot auctions, because at any given moment, we really need to know where an item is. So we have a system in place that we've had for quite some time. And we're constantly creating new ways to be more efficient with our system, whether it's a simple new input on our website or labeling to make everything more clear and accurate. So when you can grab something, we can grab it really quickly. So yeah, I do collect. I see a lot of really cool items, a lot of one-of-a-kind items, but I tend to collect more of the neater kind of items that go for under $500 or so.
Yeah.
I'm not really into the Ruth balls and Gehrig items and Mano items and whatnot. I like the items that are just more unique, not necessarily valuable, but more unique and cool.
Is there something magical about your 2,000 lots that you normally have, plus or minus? Is that your capacity, or you just push till you get close to 2,000? Because it just seems like the hobby's been so strong. I'm wondering if you even have more stuff that people want to send you.
We do. We have a lot more stuff that we couldn't get in this auction. It just time-wise to write it up and photograph it, and Kris said to shelve it and process it. It takes time.
If somebody sends you, do they send you a collection and then you discuss with them how to break it down, either by sport or by pulling out some extra value items? How is that determined?
Yeah, we do that every day here. Some people will send us individual items that are ready to go, and other people will send us their entire collection, in which case, like you just said, we end up spreading it out on our 3 giant tables here and sorting it and coming up with lots that have a common theme to them.
I've noticed that, and like I said, I really appreciate that. I like some of the more interesting lots that I've been on are the ones that are more difficult to describe, that are multi-sport, and I figure other people not everybody likes hockey, or not everybody likes football as much as basketball or baseball, and if so, it's a mix. I've always collected it all, and it's kind of fun seeing what's the surprise of what's there. And mostly pleasant surprises, and occasionally a really good pleasant surprise. Of course, anybody would be pleasantly surprised buying anything in the last 6 or 7 months. It just seemed like prices have really gone up. Has that translated into more bidders for you, or just more submissions?
Matt, who runs the mailing list for us, Matt's told me that in the last since the COVID started, really, since our May auction, we have gotten more catalog requests from new bidders than we ever have.
Well, that's terrific. That's terrific.
Yeah.
I can certainly second that because I'm the one that sends out the catalogs. And as of right now, the list of names that I have to send out to people all across the U.S. is probably twice the size of what it normally is right now.
Well,
and we'll be sending out catalogs for at least another week.
Well, you better hurry.
These are people that just requested a catalog either yesterday or
okay.
So we've already sent out the mass catalogs to the registered bidders that we do have.
Yeah, I realize that you have an incentive that if somebody will not take the catalog, you give them a credit. But I just like looking at your catalog. It's a completely different experience than the super glossy catalog that Heritage does. But I don't need that for your lots. And the efficiency of going through the flipping the pages and getting stuck on some pages. Do you intentionally group, Kris? Are you the one doing that? That's organizing a little bit by sport, or that some of the pages have similar kinds of lots? And starting out with the T cards, or
that's Matt.
That's Matt. Okay,
that's Matt who lays out the catalog. Yeah,
with precision.
Yeah.
What?
He does a great job on that.
We could talk a lot about what's in your catalog, and I highly recommend people get it. And you don't have to get it; you can go to the website, go to Huggins Scott, and see virtually everything. I always preview it that way, but then it's fun to look at the paper catalog too. But what percentage of lots that are offered to you, they don't just ship it to you, I presume. They must inquire. And are you accepting 80% of what's offered to you? Surely there's some lots that you just say you need to hold on to it.
Yes, no, we do get some stuff. And there is a lot of times where people will send us their entire collection, and we may end up making 14 lots out of it, and then there's a group of stuff we return to them.
Oh, really?
Or sometimes they even say, well, because it's just stuff that has more weight than value to it. and it's addition by subtraction by not including it in one of the lots. It doesn't have much value. And a lot of the consigners, a lot of times they'll just say, Bill, just keep that stuff. We give it to the kids who come in and show us good report cards or something.
I'm going to give away one of my trade secrets for bidding in your auctions. And I hope it's not going to invite a bunch of people to bid against me. But, what you said there, I actually look for lots that have 7 or 8 really good things in. 70% is good stuff, and 20 or 30% is bad stuff. And you're right. The bad stuff, even though there's a lot of good stuff in there, the bad stuff discourages people from bidding.
Oh, sure. It's like, why do I have to?
That's right.
Do this to get that? Yeah.
It has a negative value. And so I'll bid on some of those things, and I give away. People know I give some of this extra stuff to Rich Klein, our mutual good friend, who passes them through for his synagogue show a couple times a year, and he'll never run out of cards or stuff. He's got a place where just people can get some of these odd shaped kinds of things. Do you guys have to acquire supplies, or do you have so many supplies of what people are sending? I'm just wondering. You've got to be going through all kinds of shoe boxes, monster boxes, 800 count boxes. Is that all the original materials from the people, or are you having to do any boxing up?
It really varies. Oftentimes, the collections that we do take, whether or not they bring it in or we go pick it up or they ship it to us, oftentimes they are housed in appropriate boxes, especially the card lots. A lot of times they are. A lot of times that they're housed in plastic sleeves, and we take all the cards out individually. Because we need to analyze them, and we need to figure out which ones may be submitted to get graded. So, but most times I would say that they come adequately packaged. And then when they're not, we have, 5 rows, 4 rows, 3 rows, 2 rows, singles, you name it. We have every kind of every kind of packaging here. And we have all that organized in our facility, which is a rather large facility, in sequence. So anytime anybody needs something, we really don't spend a lot of time looking for it because we all know where it is, which helps with our efficiency.
I noticed in this catalog, again, that I highly recommend, that is going to be closing in later in October. There's a couple of huge lots there, and one of them is not even on premises.
Yeah, it's a really big lot.
And so how do you handle something like that? And I know that you've had that before, where something's so big, you just keep it where it is, and if somebody wins, it's up to them to go get it.
It's actually quite simple, because we have a disclaimer on the website letting people know where, in fact, the lot is, whether or not it's still at the consignor's house,
right,
or it's at our facilities. And it gives people a heads up. And then sometimes they don't really pay attention to that part. They might call and inquire what the shipping is going to be. And we always encourage bidders to reach out and inquire on the shipping before they place the bid, especially on larger items.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I know, Kris.
Especially on larger items.
Yeah.
Although most bidders have a general idea of what it's going to cost. When we're dealing with customers picking up these large, potential pallet lots, virtually every single time the person will live near the consignor and they'll rent like a U-Haul or something and pick it up. Rarely do they actually ship it from that location. A lot of the larger lots that we have in-house, though, we do ship a fair amount of those. But again, a lot of people really utilize that pickup option because 1,000 to 2,000 pounds can.
Well, no, it's expensive. Yeah. And what are you still having a fair number of people that come and preview the items in person and look through your warehouse and your staging area the week before?
As far as COVID is concerned, not so much. People are more hesitant to come in and look at the lots, at least from my experience. We do have a couple people lined up that may come once the auction starts sometime next week. I always have to coordinate with Matt to figure out which people are going to come and what list of lots that they have ready so that we can have everything ready for them so that when they get here, we can have them off into a room by themselves away from everybody and they can take their time. And we have lighting and loops and things of that nature where we can, so people can get a really good look at everything. So we like to have everything in sequence as the motto for our company is that we like to be as efficient as possible so that when somebody comes in here, they're just looking at the items and then they can be on their way on to whatever schedule they have. So.
The COVID has ruined a lot of people, and I'm sure I've done better than many because I've been able to be reasonably safe. But I'm dying to come up there and look at it. And I just think this COVID environment is not. But it'd be Kevin Savage might be there, and anybody else that would be up there would be a kindred spirit. We'd go out to dinner and look at the stuff, and it'd be like the National without any other customers.
Of course, we have a lot of routine folks that come in every auction. And so a lot of people fly it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just that I think I may need to fly in and drive back with a U-Haul or something.
Kevin usually will come.
I'm saying.
He'll come the day of the auction.
Yeah. And
then he'll go back to his hotel room and bid that night. And then he'll come the next morning and pick up all his winnings and drive home. Exactly.
That's really what I'm thinking about doing. So I have a 15-minute rule here, and I'm really excited about this coming up auction in the next 2 weeks. I'll get my initial bids in there and see what happens. And Kris, thank you for always taking good care of me. Bill, we're longtime friends, but appreciate how you've come through and provided a great service. So always enjoy your catalogs. Always enjoy getting my lots. Even when like I said, on balance, I've done terrific, but just to show that I'm not infallible, occasionally I think this is really going to be good. And I overestimate, what you're very honest about what's there. And I think, but they understated the last one. So maybe this one will be better too. So, anyway, keep up the great work, guys. I look forward to working with you in the next couple of weeks. And when COVID is clear, I really want to get up there and dig into some of these lots that I can not have so much.
Oh, Jim, you have such an advantage by coming to look at
I know
what we can describe on it.
I know. But
well, listen, thank you so much for including us in this. And,
you bet.
You stay safe, and hopefully we'll talk
to you
soon.
I appreciate it, Bill. Thanks, Kris. See you guys. Keep up the good work. You bet.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. Bye-bye.